I've been thinking a lot about dignity and coming into this presentation, and I've come to the realization that as a person with disability, I was born with spinal muscular atrophy. So I've been in a wheelchair my whole life. I wouldn't really consider my life lived especially with dignity. And I'm not saying this so that you feel bad for me, but more that you understand that I was born into a society that is not set up for people with disabilities, and quite honestly is set up for us to fail. We have to beg for services that allow us to live. We have to beg for accessibility, even though we're supposed to be protected by a law. We have to beg politicians to see us. We have to beg doctors to believe us. We have to beg for inclusion. It doesn't really seem super dignified. Why in 2022 are we still yelling into a void for people to see us? Well, I really attribute that to media representation. So much of how we learn about the world is through what we consume. And I always say that I never saw anyone that looked like me on TV until I was on TV. When disabled people were seen in TV or film, they always lacked agency or were sad or lived their life just to be cured. The story I always tell people that highlights the mindset, that kind of mindset the most is I was in Tennessee eating lunch in a food court, which, okay, granted, this is kind of sad. But I was eating my chicken nuggets when a woman came up to me and said, "I'm sorry that your life is terrible now, but don't worry, soon you'll be dead. And then you'll be sitting at the right hand of God." So there's a few problems with that. One, not sure what you heard, but I am a terrible person and my life is not very bad. I'm currently eating chicken nuggets. And two, if a woman, me, who curses regularly and spends most of her days eating chicken nuggets and watching reruns of The Office, if I'm going to be sitting at the right hand of God, Mother Teresa is going to be really pissed off. But because of stories like this, and because I get prayed for all the time, I grew up thinking that a person with a disability was a curse, but I'm not. I'm still kind of undoing that internalized ableism that I grew up with. So in my work as an actor and a writer and creator, I do my best to represent the true disabled experience. People just living their lives and having relationships and loving and hating their jobs and finding the best snacks. Because the only way to really live and understand living with a dignified life is to represent an inclusive society.